Hey dudes, today we're using this Bowler 52100 steel to make and test two identical knives at different hardnesses or HRCs to see what each of their strengths and weaknesses are. 52100 steel is used in ball bearings. It's known to have the best edge retention of the commonly forged steels and is very tough. So let's whip up our knives, get them measured, and release the hounds. Our testing HRCs are going to be 60 and 62. The blades were double quenched in Parks 50 and tempered without cryo. Alright, our blades are 4 1/4 inch long with a spine thickness of 0.15 inches, a full flat grind, 28 thou plus or minus 2 up and down the edge for behind the edge thickness, and a 17 degree per side or 34 degree all-inclusive edge angle. This is a reasonably slicey, thin knife with a well-tapered tip. As you guys know, in the 1 inch hemp rope test, we cut rope until the knife snags on printer paper or no longer cuts rope effectively.
60 HRC.
You can check out the link in the description for an ad-free video that explains these tests a bit more. For reference, the forging steels I've tested so far, 1084, 1095, W2, 5160, and 80 CRV2, have been getting 9 to 11 cuts. We had one go to 12 a while back. Results vary depending on the hardness and geometry, but that's the rough ballpark.
Call that there, I think it was 13.
So our 62 HRC knife bests our 60 HRC knife in this test by increasing edge retention by 8% from 13 up to 14 cuts. That's nice. So a quick note on this test, the usual dried cedar I used was not available. They were out and I had to settle on this rough cut cedar, which is harder and chips out less. It's taking more strikes than usual to get through the 2x4. So I don't think this test will compare well to my other tests for batoning and edge durability. I can't claim the numbers put up by these two knives would be higher with the usual dried cedar, but that does seem likely. At any rate, because we're using different test medium today, we'll have to compare these two knives just to each other and not to the previously tested knives. So for edge durability, there's a 66% increase in cuts from 60 to 62 HRC, which seems huge. We'll look at the edges after batoning under a microscope to see if they're any different up close. Remember, on tip retention, formal testing is just the 5 stabs and pries. For my own curiosity, I drive the knives in further and pry them out to see what will happen. These knives have thin grinds with long tapers, high HRCs. They are not pry bars, and I don't make much of tip retention tests with these types of knives at all, really. But we do all the tests on all the knives. So for the fun testing here, it bent, but it didn't break. Let's see what happens if we try to bend it back. Oh, there it broke. There it broke. All right, let's try the 62 HRC. No bends, perfect tip. Because neither knife bent or broke with the stab and pry, they both get perfect scores for tip retention. Next, both the 7.9 and 22.4 ounce ball are dropped onto the knives through a 5-foot tube to check for chipping. All knives are damaged by this test to one degree or another, but we don't usually like to see chipping. And for me, there are knives for which this test has absolutely no value, so you decide if it means anything to you here. HRC big ball. Dude, gotta be kidding me. Also, just about nothing there. Oh my goodness. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. What do we do? I mean, what? All right, I'm tired of this. This is the 60 HRC knife. There's a deflection here from the big ball. You guys remember how thin behind this edge is? A 17-degree, 34 all-inclusive angle. That is shocking. And I clamped it right behind. I wasn't convinced that this was clamped correctly for the big ball. So I reclamped it right behind there. And we get this little deflection. This is little ball right here. We sort of rolled a little bit. I dropped the big ball, I don't know, like 4 times over here, 3 or 4 times. Again, I moved the clamp, clamped it right behind there as tight as it could go, wouldn't wiggle. Big ball, big ball, big ball. This is the worst deflection from the big ball. Look at this. That's big ball damage. That's big ball there. There's 4 big ball drops here. This was the worst effect. I mean, I with this grind, I did not expect this at all. This is a 60 HRC. That's a small ball right there. This is batoning damage. Big ball. Big ball. And then more batoning damage. And that's about what we see from the other blades when they quit cutting after batoning. This is 62 HRC. Again, the same type of batoning damage. There's one of the balls, probably the small ball. Big ball. Big ball. More batoning damage. So it's interesting that the batoning damage looks so similar in the knives. It just happened earlier on the 60 HRC than the 62. So in conclusion, both knives did really well for forging steels, like really well. But the clear winner in edge retention and durability is the 62 HRC. I'm shocked with how well both of these knives in particular held up to the Ballz. If you want some context, go watch some of the other tested videos. Just remember that the wood in this video is harder than the wood in the rest of the videos, and these knives still did good. In fact, they did great. So 52100, it's a monster forging steel. Do not be afraid to leave it hard. That's my main takeaway here. It's still tough as nails. Do not fret the fun portion of the tip testing, you guys. These knives have full, long, narrow tapers to a pointy tip. They're thin spines to begin with, and they're high HRCs. That's just what happens to these knives. They were never going to survive it. But what do you guys think? Do you use 52100? Is this going to change how hard you run it? Let me know in the comment section.